and welcome to Pro Wrestling Inside Down. I'm Brent West, along with Jack Lord. Rodney West will be counting them down today as we do our Casey Kasem. We're almost next week. We'll be doing the top 10 wrestlers, pro wrestlers, our list of the top 100. So make sure you tell everybody to have their list together, share their list of their top 10 wrestlers, because I'm pretty sure everyone's is going to be a little different. And if you got Tony Khan and he'll send his in, Marco Stunt will be on that one. So he'll be good for that. Is that man is he just in just 2 years in wrestling, has he just lost his mind, Tony Khan, or did he never have a mind to lose?
I don't know. I think he'd be okay if he'd just stay off social media.
Maybe so, man. I don't get it. A big giant. He had a big giant, and I think Jack, you said he turned off the lights again for somebody new to come in.
It was absolutely the biggest stinker. I'm trying to think of a nice way to say this. The biggest stinker that AEW has laid, I think, since they came into existence. It was poorly planned. There was 1,000 different ways to introduce this guy, but they have set the standards of when the lights go out, some big WWE guy, that's what it's always been, some WWE guy makes his debut. And the lights came on, and there was a collective, who's that?
I heard there were also some boos in the crowd, but not for the reason you would think they were boos. It was just like, this is really horrible.
Yeah.
I understand later on the show, or maybe before the show, there was another kind of a boo that happened between the Jackson twins there, or whatever their names are, and the Dark Order, that they got another boo within that it was not a boo because we hate you, it's just a boo because this sucks. Is this the common occurrence going to happen there? Does he need a booker really, really bad?
They have built themselves as being the alternative for the hardcore wrestling fans, basically your internet fans. And I'm not saying it hadn't paid off for it, but you have got to walk a thin line with those kind of fans. He's invited them in, but he's doing stuff that they don't like, and they're going to let you know in a heartbeat that, when you've gone too far with something.
Also on Tony Khan's list of top 10 wrestlers will also be Jim Cornette calls them Twinkle Toes. He'd probably be on there as well. So, all right, let's go ahead and get to our top 11 through 20. If you've got your list 11 through 20, share it with us, and we will go through those lists. All right, Rodney, I'll start with you because I usually start 11.
Are you sure that's safe?
Yeah, I think it'll be safe. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't want to make everybody else's list look bad. I'm just saying.
Well, when we get Tony Khan's, it'll be all right.
All right, number 20, Bret Hart. 19, Kurt Hennig. 18, Bob Armstrong. 17, Terry Gordy. 16, Jackie Fargo. 15, Sergeant Slaughter. 14, Buddy Rogers. 13, Bruno Sammartino. 12, Lou Thesz. And 11, Jack Briscoe.
Great list right there. Great list. Okay, Jack, let's go ahead and get your list 11 through 20.
And this is my part of this conversation where I think a lot of people's going to turn on me.
Uh-oh.
So here we go.
Here we go.
Number 20, Johnny Valentine. Number 19, Lynn Rossi. Number 18, Buddy Rogers. 17, Bruno Sammartino. Number 16, Hulk Hogan. 15, Jackie Fargo. 14, Johnny.
Hold it. Go back just 1 minute. How far back? Go back a little bit back there.
Which one you
on? Did I hear Hulk Hogan?
I did. You did.
Okay, all right. Just making sure. Go ahead.
Yep. He was a great attraction.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't say anything. I'm just making sure you said that. Go ahead.
14. Well, I can't remember.
I'm sorry.
I've lost my name here. It just blanked off on me. So anyway, 13, Gorgeous George. 12, Nick Bockwinkel. And number 11, Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. Now I know some people going to go. They're going to go ballistic here. Jack, Rodney, Ric Flair. Is he on your
Who?
list? By the way, Rodney.
I don't divulge who's on my list.
Well, he's not. He wasn't on 11 through 20. Well, you
Mhm.
only have 1 through 10 to go.
That's right. That's right. And when we get there, I'll explain in very detail of why certain people were on and certain people were not. And at this time, I'm not willing to discuss that. Me and Johnny Valiant will not discuss or disclose the name of the person yet at this time.
All right.
We'll discuss that when we get to it.
Here's mine. Number 20, Ricky Morton. Ricky Morton, number 20. Number 19, Buddy Rogers. Tremendous. Number 18, Bobby Eaton. Number 17, Terry Gordy. Number 16, probably should be higher on the list, but Andre the Giant. Number 15, Dory Funk Jr. Number 14, Dick Slater. Number 13, Jack Briscoe. Number 12, Terry Funk. Number 11, Randy Savage. So who else could be left on our list for our top 10 wrestlers of all time? Jack, any comments about these? About that? Let's talk about Ric Flair for just a second, and why he got. I think what was number was he number 11?
He was my number 11.
Now, okay, let's talk about that just for a second because the people are going to want to know why Ric Flair number 11 and not number 1, which is going to be in most people's list of professional wrestlers.
That's true. To me, Rick became almost a caricature of himself. 70s, early 80s, you couldn't ask for a more versatile professional wrestler than Ric Flair. But once WCW hit nationwide, it became almost the same kind of matches every time. And by the 90s, early 90s, it was the same match every time. And it didn't change for the rest of his career. I just think, to me, that took away more than it added to it.
Yeah, I agree with that. We were in Bristol, Tennessee one time, and I was doing the announcing. Ric Flair was there, Arn Anderson, a couple other guys. I can't remember all who was in the dressing room. Michael Hayes might have been there, but I said something about the crowd being bad because it was bad. It was bad, and I said, well, I guess they're tired of seeing Ric Flair do that same body slam off the top rope. He's done it 62 times, and so Arn said, well, I guess you don't want a job here. I said, why do I want a job here? Because it certainly ain't strong. So I won't keep one long. He's done the same match for the last 12 years.
Yeah, I can't get my regular job, which I actually get paid at, and come here because this place will be closed if we continue to have matches like this. Yeah, I understand.
I know, but I just didn't think I'm like y'all. I think Ric Flair was repetitive in what he did, especially when it got down and we got into about 88 on. I guess when Ted Turner took over, he just became more repetitive.
You're being very generous.
Yes, I am being generous. Yes,
you are being very generous.
If he wasn't seen on nationwide television doing the same thing over again, he might have went to Birmingham and did the same thing. Then went to Dallas.
Let me ask you. I'll ask you. Flair worked in Panama City how many times against Bob, more or less? How many times do you think we saw that match?
4 or 5 times, maybe.
And when I say we saw that match, how many times did we see that match?
4 or 5 times, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
This place will explode when I get finished.
All right, now let's talk about
The entire thing, the entire internet will melt down.
send all cards and letters directly to Jack. uh, 1 through 10 next week. 1 through 10. I think everybody's going to be I might be just a little bit more open to Ric Flair because of his 70s, early 80s run. I'll probably be a little bit more lenient to Ric Flair, but I won't tell you the rest of the people who are on my list because I mean, who knows? Some people that you thought might be on the list is not going to be on the list. But there's some good people on it. All right, are you ready to see what
Yes.
the insiders?
Yeah, they've got some good stuff. They've got some really good stuff.
Richard Hood, good evening, fellas. How you doing, Richard? David Bias is with us as well. David goes to all kinds of wrestling shows during the weekends now, I've noticed. Good evening, guys. Ready for a great show. Leo. How are you doing, Leo? Hello, everyone. I'm not even going to try to say your name. I can't say roller.
Conchola, I believe this is.
Wendy Harkins is with us this evening. Christopher Hughes is also with us. Again, everyone. Hope all is well. Richard Hood, number 20, Thunderbolt Patterson. I want to talk about that just for a second because some people don't believe Thunderbolt Patterson belongs in a top 20 or top 30. But people said he was a bad wrestler, but he was not a bad wrestler. And he could do an interview. Folks said he couldn't, but he could. He could connect to the wrestling fans like no other. And evidently, he just wasn't in Georgia, and you didn't get to see him in action. And I think Texas, he did well. I think in the Carolinas, he did well. Everywhere he went, he drew money. Florida, he drew money.
Australia, he was over.
Exactly what I was fixing to say. He was huge in Australia.
So it's
and totally unique. Totally unique. He copied no one. He was his own. He was well, I won't say character. He was just his own man. He no influences from anybody. This was developed over the years, and it was just absolutely awesome. And his ability to connect with fans unrivaled by anybody, I think.
Yeah, Jack, don't you think Thunderbolt deserves to be in a top 100 list? No doubt.
Thunderbolt was amazing. At the end of the day, when you measure success on your ability to connect with the audience, Thunderbolt Patterson's got to be in that very top of the list.
And that comes from a guy that broke Wahoo's leg. Jack there. Broke Wahoo's leg. Let's see here. We've got Glenn Allen Shelton is with us. Glenn Allen Shelton, good evening all. Christopher DiCarlo. Hello, guys. Leo, cool shirt. I broke Wahoo.
I'm wearing this in honor of Wahoo passed away 20 years ago yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wahoo was so good. He was so good. Pez Watley. Pistol Pez Watley, number 19. Tremendous wrestler, tremendous person. Hello, gentlemen, from Dr. Phil Bulgris. Jason Mundy is with us. Richard Hood, Kamala, the Ugandan giant, number 18. I don't think of him, but no one else could have done that. No one else could have done the Kamala gimmick as good as he did it. He was just so good at that. And he's told some stories of where he was really done wrong. And truthfully, he probably was, because he didn't say anything. He just went on with it and let him do it. WWA putting the U.S. title on Theory is bad for business. He's still going to be a major jerk.
Really, Wendy, but what do you really think about him?
Well, look, here's the thing is, fans by and large, not pointing to Wendy here individually, but it was all over my feed last night about, and has been for weeks, WWE needs to build new stars. So when they build a new star, then they don't like him. Well, he's a bad guy. You're not supposed to like him. And if he was a jerk, Wendy, I'm sure that's the role he was supposed to be filling, at that event. Because on the personal side, I think Austin Theory, or just Theory, should be and could be a major star for WWE.
He looks great, and he has that basic ability. So I think so. Tony Atlas, number 17.
Yeah.
Yes, tremendously over in Atlanta and the Carolinas, and really was over when him and Rocky Johnson was the WWF Tag Team Champions. Even though I've heard through the grapevine they didn't get along, Tony Atlas and Rocky Johnson. Wendy Arkins, great list, Rodney. Eric Crawford, 222. Mr. Wrestling number 2, not the biggest, not the strongest, maybe not the best, but he made me believe, and that what matters in pro wrestling. But you know why you believed it? Because the guys who was in the ring with Wrestling 2 believed it. He didn't hold nothing back. When you got in the ring with Wrestling 2, you were going to know you were being in a wrestling match.
At one time in Georgia, if you did not have Wrestling 2 on the show, you didn't draw a house. That was common knowledge. It was over that big, and it was absolutely true. And everybody wanted to work with him. Everybody, because you know you was going to be on the main event.
I watched Battle of the Belts, or not Battle of the Belts, the last Battle of Atlanta from '83 yesterday, and Bob Roop and Wrestling 2 were, I think they were only like fourth up on the card, maybe fifth, but. And if you want to talk about spectacular spots and stuff, they didn't do none of that. What they did was they told a great story. But every time Wrestling 2 would even tease that knee, those people lost their mind because he had painted such a picture during his entire career there that knee meant something. And they did one little spot where Roop had put him up on the top rope and came in, and he gave him just a little short knee from the top, sitting on the top rope. And people lost their mind. And of course, Bob Roop sold it like he took his head off. Yeah. Went all the way across the ring selling, and the only reason he didn't get pins because he put his leg on the rope. Great stuff. Great storytelling. Wrestling 2 was the best of the best.
Oh, yeah. He was. And no matter where he went, drew money.
Yep.
He drew money in Louisiana. He drew money in Georgia. He went to Florida, even drew money as the grappler and as Johnny Walker there. Had a great feud with Buddy Colt there. He broke his arm. He broke his arm on television, maybe at the arena, and then they were having a match, and he was going after try to break Buddy Colt. It's on YouTube. Go see it. Tremendous match, and another telling a story. It's very important. Tell a story. Number 11 from Dennis Mitchell, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's going to have to be one of the top wrestlers of all time. He was now maybe not Rodney's, but.
Well, he didn't make mine only for the time frame I set myself.
So. I got you. Christopher Hughes, number 26, Tully Blanchard, 25, Buddy Rogers, 24, Bobo Brazil, 23, Bobby Eaton, 22, Ted DiBiase, 21, Ole Anderson, number 20, Paul Orndorff. All great wrestlers, just tremendous wrestlers. Charles Bellflower, number 20, Miss Wrestling 2, 19, Dean Malenko, 18, Pedro Morales, 17, Kurt Angle, 16, Vern Gagne.
Vern Gagne, yes. It's correct. Correct pronunciation, yes.
That's right. Number 15, Billy Robertson. Number 14, Danny Hodge. Number 13, Bob Backlund. Number 12, Gene Kiniski. Number 11, Ricky Steamboat. Tremendous wrestler, Ricky Steamboat. Wendy Harkins said, great list, Jack. Funk Jr. is on Dennis Mitchell's. He's putting him on number 10. He's jumping right ahead of us and letting us know that Dory Funk Jr. is going to be number 10.
A preview
to come. And here's my. I thought I'd do the Tony Khan and show my paper so they get it out like it was a big deal. Great list, Brett, as well. Donovan Brown, number 20, Bobby Shane. Don't ever think about Bobby Shane, but tremendous wrestler. We lost him way too soon. Number 19, Ricky Gibson, tremendous wrestler. 18, Ken Lucas. 17, Ron Fuller. 16, Dutch Mantell. 15, Thunderbolt Patterson. 14, superstar Billy Graham. Great list. Tremendous list right there for what about Nut House Fargo? I don't think Roughhouse is going to make my list of the top wrestlers in the world. Tremendous character, but he really, Rodney, Roughhouse make your list?
Not so far, but we have 10 more to go. There's always an opportunity for him to make it.
I'll go ahead and tell you that he didn't make mine. I'm just going to tell you he didn't make my list anyway.
I like Nut House, but I'm allergic to
I mean, tremendous character. Drew a lot of money when they'd bring him in and do what they need to do. Mostly he refereed as time went on, but tremendous what they
He
did.
is a fantastic attraction.
Yes.
Absolutely a fantastic attraction.
Richard Hood, Jack, Ole said the same thing about Flair. Well, in 1990, that's the reason that they really wanted to push someone else and put him in a tag match, hoping he wouldn't do the same spots over and over again. Because if you remember, he teamed with somebody. Who was it? Did he team
Arn
with?
Anderson.
Arn Anderson. So maybe he wouldn't do
They
the
were
same.
against Doom.
And I think they probably told Butch and Ron, said, listen, if he goes and does that stupid spot over the top rope where he flips over, just give him a great clothesline, knock him off the turnbuckle, and just count him out. This is thing up once and for all. Because Ole did not like Flair. But this goes way back, not just Atlanta time, goes way back. He said he was doing the same thing in the Carolinas. So Michael, how you doing? Good evening, everyone. Hello to you, Michael. Eric Crawford, y'all have 2 at number 21 or 22, which I understand, but between 1978 and 84, he was Georgia Championship Wrestling Hero. Yes. But there is going to be some people that probably don't even know what Wrestling 2 did in Georgia. Am I correct about
that? Eric, I will make up for this.
But there are some people that wouldn't know Mr. Wrestling 2. There's probably some people that never seen Mr. Wrestling wrestle. So it's understandable. But Wrestling 2, if you did a Georgia list, probably be number 1. I think he might have drew more money than any wrestler ever in Georgia. I truly believe he did. And when you look at the time frame that he was Mr. Wrestling 2. Rick Brooks, hello guys. Here's Mickey Mayfield, and here's his list. Number 20, Paul Jones. Number 19, Dick Slater. Number 18, Roddy Piper. 17, Kerry Von Erich. 16, Diamond Dallas Page. 15, Ricky Steamboat. 14, Tommy Rich. 13, Tracy Smothers. 12, Bob Backlund. And number 11, Bam Bam Bigelow. Tremendous wrestler for the size he was. Man, he could go in that ring. He did the cartwheel. And I like Bam Bam. I don't think they gave him a big enough push in WWE. He never went anywhere else, did he? He come to WCW?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he was in ECW too.
Yes, so was that where he was before he went to WWE? Or was he in WWE first, then went there?
He was in WWE first.
He worked in Memphis as well, and he did not have the same name as Bam Bam Bigelow, did he? He had something else. Was it Crusher or something?
Crusher Yarkoff, I believe, but that was in World Class.
Oh, World Class. Okay.
Yeah. Now he may have gone to Tennessee too, because that was when Jerry Jarrett was the owner.
And I think Paul Heyman have something to do with him?
I'll have to research that. I can't remember.
All right. Ric Flair did the same thing over. Flip with the top rope, the goofy bump out of the corner. Yes, yes. David Bice. Me and Jack are in the race sharing wrestling events. David Bice. Greg Winters. Replying to David Bice. Hi, David. Paul Ante. Good evening from the cold Griff. Gaff, Goof, Doof. I don't know how to say that name. We need a nickname for his place. The Cold Place. That's what we're saying. We'll call it the Cold Place. We've had snow these last 2 days.
Wow.
You guys are tough.
Evaluators.
I couldn't even read that name. I didn't even know what that meant.
We've been rough tonight on the evaluation.
Yes. All right. Well, there you go. Now his daughter is starting to do the same bumps. It's hard. Is she doing the same bumps?
A few, yeah. She is more versatile at this point.
Charlotte never make my list. Just want to make sure. I'm going to write that down because I'll forget it. By the time we get off here, I won't remember.
She will put you in a figure 4, Brent, and make you say I quit.
There you go. I probably would. Greg Winters. Hi, guys. I hope all is
I would
well.
just say I quit by her screaming at me.
Heck, if they'll just send me a check, I'll just tell everybody she's won.
Glenn Allen Shelton did tell Wendy Harkins, yes, it always looked ridiculous. That deal, yeah. Kevin Barkwell, I thought Thunderbolt Patterson cut great promos. Yes. Oh, yes, he was tremendous. Had a very unusual ringside, enjoyed his matches, and a lot of people stole from him.
Yep.
A lot of people. Dusty Rhodes. He said he stole a lot from Thunderbolt Patterson. He
Superstar
said
Billy Graham did.
Then he did Superstar Billy Graham, but he did say he stole from both of those people. He said he just take them and put them together, and that was the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and it really was. Wendy Harkins, Rodney, you don't really want to know. What was she?
I was asking. I said, tell us what you really think of Mr. Theory.
Remember, we're a family-oriented show, so. Eric Crawford, my brother just passed by and told me to give a shout out to who he thinks was the most underrated wrestler of the late 70s and early 80s, Greg the Hammer Valentine. I think I agree with that. I would agree with that. He said hello to Rick, by the way. Glenn Allen Shelton, they built stars, then screw them up.
You have to admire WWE's ability to stay focused on screwing up people.
Joe Bateman, hello, hi everyone. Wendy Harkins, he was a babyface at the events I was going to. Care more about certain people and not all his fans. Oh, well, you like the women, huh? Like the women. He liked to talk to them. Maybe him and Wendell Cooley got together. And they decided to talk to each other about how to treat people. Well, it all come back to him. Bill Dundee always said this: we all believe our own press at some point, and then we finally find out that we didn't mean nothing. 2 years later, there's someone else in the main event, and they're on the third or fourth match, and this is the way it is. Let's see. Christopher Hughes, 19, David Von Erich, 18, Superstar Billy Graham, 17, Freddie Blassie, 16, Jody Hamilton, 15, Terry Gordy, 14, The Rock, 13, Ted Oates. All right, now I'm not for sure who number 12.
The Crusher.
Oh, actually, okay. Jumbo, I guess that's Jumbo Tesudo, however you say his name.
Tesudo.
Thank you. Yeah, some water here. No. Maybe I can even speak. Maybe not. It may not have nothing to do with the water. Mickey Mayfield read an article last week about Abdullah the Butcher being totally broke and without a high school education and living day to day. If this is true, what a tragedy for someone that brought so much entertainment to millions worldwide. I heard that as well, Jack. You got any more information on that?
Just what's been posted. He apparently his wife is divorcing him. She had transferred all their assets over into her account, sold off houses and other things that they had, and is has just pretty much left him with nothing.
Wow.
Which is sad.
Yeah, that is sad. Man, that's it. Because he made a ton of money. I mean, this the Japanese trips that he made a ton of money. That is sad. I think I've seen something about a FundMe page or something for our
Yeah,
buddy.
there is a GoFundMe page if y'all want to go to his personal page, Larry Sheave, then you can find it there.
Rodney, did you know about all this?
I did not. Sorry about that.
Greg Winters. My first show was ACW. I think that's Alabama Championship Wrestling, Jack.
Yep.
At the fairgrounds in Anniston with Chris Bradstreet, picked up the Giant Stomper. From then, I knew I wanted to do this great business. Who was the Giant Stomper?
I can't remember who that was now. Chris Bradstreet was a heck of a wrestler, though. He was not big, but man, he was built and he was tough.
Arn Anderson, number 16. Number 19, Sting. I don't know that Sting made my list.
Pretty sure he didn't make.
Oh, I thought he said stink. Okay, never mind.
I don't think he made my list. It may be just because he was always a jerk. maybe I'm not looking at it the right way. Maybe
Are you
I'm just
saying that maybe he, in theory, came from the same school or what?
I think him, Lex Luger, the Steiners, Johnny B. Bad, or Mark Marrow, they almost went to that same school. Like, let's just see how much jerks we can be. We'll just see how bad we can be. We won't be nice people at all. I misspoke a few episodes. I do that all the time. So I misspoke a few episodes back when I said the only time I seen downtown Bruno was I like to hurt people. I actually met New York Raymond. How I got them confused, I can't explain. Downtown Bruno on the Rock right now, Young Rock. And people quit getting upset because they don't follow the. This is a good story.
Yeah, it's fictionalized from real events.
Yeah. Rocky Johnson, number 15 from Richard Hood. Tremendous wrestler, Rocky Johnson. Dr. Phil Bullgrass, I agree with your analyst of Flair. He still seems to grade the lights and camera, which I think could hurt his legacy because he overstayed his welcome at the party. Rodney, has Ric Flair overstayed his welcome at the party?
No. If you are in demand, then and people are willing to pay you, you are to go. That's my opinion of that. And it doesn't matter who it is. Jackie Fargo, if he was still around, people would still be booking him to make appearances all over the place too. So, but no, I don't think he'll. I think that sometimes promoters request things they can no longer do. And at this certain point, they're going to have to say, no, I can't be in the ring anymore. I mean, I can do managing. I can do help you with your promotion. I can do commentary, but in the ring, it's just not possible. But no, if somebody's willing to pay you, sure, keep going.
Jack, he overstayed his.
I don't know that it's much overstayed his welcome as I think he's just kind of hurt his legacy. He says a lot of things that rubs a lot of people the wrong way now. And he's got, I mean, we all want to hear the stories he's got.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe he shouldn't concentrate on making himself the star of every story.
Oh, I got you. And I've also seen some Facebook posts that make him look really bad and put him in a bad light. Where you didn't get to see him all the time because he was at some nightclub dancing and I had second-hand embarrassment. I wasn't even nowhere near.
Listen, folks, here's a story I'm going to tell you. I can't dance, but I can dance better than Ric Flair.
Woo, that was embarrassing. Bobo Brazil, number 14. A tremendous wrestler.
And probably one of the most, again, a copied wrestler that's ever been.
Yeah.
Bobo Brazil. I mean, really, seriously.
Joel Bateman, number 18. Scott Hall. Richard Hood, number 14. Superstar Billy Graham. George Ben Masters. Which one of your lists would most closely match Ron West's top 100?
None. I don't think so.
No.
Not ours. No.
Because a lot of the guys he didn't. I'm gonna be honest with
He
you.
would have put the Fields up the top. Of course, Jackie Fargo would have been up there. Wilbur Snyder, which we have not had on mine, and he should be. Yeah, it would have been. It would be a completely different list than ours.
And let's not forget that we would not be a PJ show if he was here reading the list.
No. We would have to put.
He would have loved doing this, though. He
Yes.
really would. He would have loved every moment of this.
Yep.
He would have, but yeah, he would have had a lot of wrestlers. His main wrestlers were 60s and 70s. Once he got to the 80s, he was not too big of a fan of wrestling in the 80s.
Frankie Kane would have been on there for sure.
Yeah. There was so many people. Even the Von Brauners would probably be on his list.
Of course, Joe and Gene would have been on there. I mean, it would have been, like I said, it would have been different.
Cora Combs would have been on his list.
Yeah.
He said she was a tremendous wrestler. So his list would be a little different. I don't know that any wrestlers from the 90s on would have probably made it on his list. A couple of them, maybe Steve Austin, maybe The Rock. I think he liked both of them, but a lot of them he'd watch and go, "What did I just see? What was that? What was that I just watched?"
Are you talking about Randy Orton this past week? SmackDown. Somebody gave him a microphone and they shouldn't have.
I don't understand.
That was awful.
I just don't understand. Maybe I just don't understand wrestling today. I just don't get it. Instead of pro wrestling, some markets and stuff like that. I just don't get wrestling.
It would have been amazing to see who did would have put number one. That would have been something. I would have said I would say Lou Thez would have been probably number one.
Yeah, I think so too. I would think so. Joe Bateman, number 15, The Rock. Eric Crawford. Oh, Cool 2 made top 20 at good call, y'all. Enjoyed the show. Good stuff. Thank you so much, Eric. Richard Hood, Scott Hall, number 12. Doug Masters is with us. How you doing, Doug?
Hey,
I think
Doug.
does Doug still do his podcast?
The last I heard, he was switching to another carrier, and I haven't caught who that is yet.
The Road Dog has a new podcast. I think it's You Didn't Know. Is that the name of it?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know. Check that out. I'm pretty sure it will be very good. So
yeah, I've been reading. I haven't got to listen to it yet, but I've read some excerpts from it, and he really tells some great stories.
Great storyteller. They all could tell stories. Scott Armstrong should get one and just do voices of wrestlers. He could do them so well. Austin Idol, he had down pat. Brad Armstrong was good at doing all the voices. Everybody, it was just they were tremendous in doing that. So Scott probably needs to go on there with them and do his voices. I would say Brian could do that. You know, Steve was very talented. He knew how to play every instrument and never was ever taught how to play an instrument. That is how good he was, and that's tremendous. Joe Bateman, Shawn Michaels, number 14. Richard Hood, number 11. Ole Anderson. Number 13, Joe Bateman. Ole Anderson.
Yep.
Greg Winters. Anyone mentioned Gorilla Monsoon? He just didn't make my list.
And it's possibly should have been, but he never was really where we were at. I mean, there were very few. I mean, and there's really not a lot of him wrestling that I can find on the internet. Now, many people might, but I haven't found him.
Jack, Gorilla Monsoon?
Again, it's because he stayed up in the northeast corner of the United States for the most part and Japan. So there, just never got to see him.
No, I think I only saw him as a commentator. I don't think that I ever really saw him wrestle. I never saw him live. I know that. So not that he don't deserve to be in a top 100, Greg Winters, great choice. He just it's one of those, the people up north would put Grillin Monsoon, and they would probably put a lot of people that we wouldn't even think about putting. Ivan Putski would probably make a top 100 if you're talking about the WWF. That's just the way it goes in wrestling. It's the Honky Tonk Man, number 12. I never cared for the Honky Tonk Man. I thought he was much better when he was the Blonde Bomber. I thought he did a tremendous match when he was with Larry Lathan. I thought that was a great tag team. I've never really had any problems with Wayne Ferris. Not like people said, well, he's changed. No, Wayne Ferris pretty well was the same guy in 1970s when he started and to this day. So he's been sick, hadn't he?
I had heard that.
Didn't he get COVID and then and was sick with it for a long period of time?
I believe so.
The Honky Tonk Man, Wayne Ferris. Right when he was fixing to get his big push, him and Ken Lucas had a wreck and just never was the same. Richard and fellas, Ole said he put the belt on Flair because he put on the same match night after night. He wanted him out of the territory. Some people don't believe that's true, but Ole Anderson during that period had a lot of power in pro wrestling. So he could have went to anybody and said, I think we need to put the title on Ric Flair, and they would have listened. Do you agree, Rodney?
Yes, absolutely. And let's be honest, Jimmy Crockett is the number one promoter of Ric Flair, not Ole. And so, no, there was nobody that Jimmy would have had as world champion than Flair. So It was Jimmy Crockett.
Jack, Ole Anderson. How much power did Ole Anderson have in the 70s?
Tremendous. And I had heard that story too, which goes to show you how smart Ole was he knew that Crockett would just jump all over that. And yet at the same time, he'd get what he wanted, and that's Flair not there all the time.
Exactly. Ole was a very smart person. Can't say anything bad about Ole as far as that time period. Ole was on fire. Correct, guys? I am from Oregon. Love wrestling since the 80s. Only knew about Mr. Wrestling 2 from your stories and the wrestling magazines. Wrestling 2, tremendous wrestler and a tremendous person. And we'll try to get Robert back on. He's got all kinds of new stuff to show us. Brand new stuff to show us. So we'll try to get him back on here and continue the story on Wrestling 2 as well. Welcome all. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty of top stars. Stuart Kemp. How you doing, Stuart? Michael, here his list is 20, Barry Wendell, 19, the original Sheik, 18, Johnny Valentine, 17, Pedro Morales, 16, Vern Gagne, 15, Ric Flair. Ric Flair makes his list at 15. Number 14, Kurt Angle, 13, Bob Backlund, 12, Danny Hodge, 11, Dory Funk Jr. Chris Colt was underrated from Scott Dodson and crazy. If there was a craziest wrestler in the world, Chris Colt might get the number 1 spot.
I met him. He was in Continental doing Chris Von Colt when I met him.
Yeah,
he was out there.
He's a different kind of character. Did not make my list, but he probably underrated because he was a good wrestler.
Yeah,
everything he did, he knew what he was doing. Christopher Hughes, Thunderbolt got a bad break over the whole blackball thing with him talking union. They really came down on hard him for that. Yeah, I think they did.
Well, they did, but also at the same time, he knew they were going to come down on him.
Yeah. It wasn't like he was surprised by it, but they still used him after all that happened. It's still because it shows that they will use anyone if they think they draw money with him.
Yeah.
And Thunderbolt, they knew they could draw money with him. No matter what he did, they could draw money with Thunderbolt. So,
well, this was not this creating a union is not really a blackball thing. It's not like what they tried to do in Knoxville for sure.
Yeah. All he was trying to do is get people If they got hurt, they were because back then they wasn't. Now Russell can get hurt and be paid for 3 years. So it's a whole lot better in that respect. Joel Bateman, number 11, Ray Stevens. Yes. Michael, Dusty and Billy sounded so much alike. Yes. Because Dusty stole his stuff. He just did. Mickey, I really wish we could get T-Boat on it. I wish we could too. I have tried to contact him. No luck. No luck at getting them on here. Possibly just, we'd probably be better off to go see him than we would try to get him on here. It's sometimes it can be difficult to get on sometimes on this one. Do you guys remember, this is from Kevin Barkwell, do you guys remember the brief feud for the Georgia Heavyweight Championship between Dick Slater and Paul Jones around 1996? I don't remember. I believe Slater was managed by Bearcat Wright at the time. Rodney?
Yes, I do absolutely remember this. Paul Jones was actually the Georgia Heavyweight Champion, and on television, it was Dick Slater against Paul Jones. On TV, Bearcat Wright just came in for the first week. That was his first week. And so they had a tremendous match. Both men went down. And as Slater was coming up, Bearcat Wright threw hot coffee in Slater's face, reviving him. And then he beat Paul Jones for the Georgia Heavyweight Championship on television. I'll never forget it. It was tremendous.
Jack, do you remember that? You remember any of that?
Barely.
Yeah, because I don't remember that. I don't remember Paul Jones ever being in Atlanta, and I would have been 6 years old, but I do not remember him.
It was a surprise because just as soon as Paul Jones came to Georgia, he beat Dick Slater for the Georgia belt, and he held it until that. It was about 6 weeks. He held it and lost it to Slater on television.
Let's see, Christopher Hughes, Buddy Colt, Brad Armstrong, Hardcore Holly, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode and Cesario. I think that's how you say his name. Some of your most underrated throughout the year. So much wasted, right? Yeah, I agree with all of those. Now, Buddy Colt was pushed pretty good in Florida, in Georgia, but I can understand the rest of them. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I wouldn't say Buddy Colt was underrated. I think he was rated very highly. It's just that plane crash, cut his career short. Brad was where Brad wanted to be. Fans wanted to see more of Brad, certainly. But Brad was pretty happy with the role that he had. Hardcore Holly is a jerk. So, Dolph, Robert Roode, Cesaro, I'd agree. I think they're good talents for today's product. I think they're a lot better than what is given to them.
I agree. Rodney?
Oh, absolutely. Buddy Colt, Brad, absolutely. The others, anyway.
I think all those people, all of them are good. And I don't think it's Dolph Ziggler's, Robert Roode's fault. They could really draw you money, but they just done nothing with them. And they always misdone Cesario. They just messed him up the whole time he was there.
Yeah.
They could have drew a ton of money with him, and they just didn't give him nothing. Leaving Lanny Poffo, reading poetry and throwing frisbees. Come on now, people. Those head scissors and bloody cell bump he took from Andre. I would probably agree with that. There was never, there was always some bad things in pro wrestling, no matter what year it was. I mean, we've seen a bunch of bad stuff in the 1980s. A lot of bad stuff. It wasn't as bad in the 1970s. It just started getting bad in the 1980s for some reason. I don't know what happened. Pete and Tony Gurria, co-holder of the tag belts 5 times. Tony Gurria, Pete Elvidge. Glenn Allen Shelton, Harley Race, and Lou Thez. Now, Harley Race would be on our father's list. I can tell you that. Right. He loved Harley Race. Mickey Mayfield, because he knew Harley Race when he was Harley Race. When he wrestled as, Johnny Long, maybe? Or maybe the other Long.
I believe it was something long.
Something long. Maybe Johnny Long was the other guy. Mickey Mayfield. Cody versus Owen should have been a great match, but the finish, yuck. I don't know.
It was a count out finish.
Yeah, I don't ever watch the shows. I'll get to see YouTube clips, but that's the only thing I watch. There's so many left off the list, and few I've forgotten about from years ago. Yeah, that does happen. Wendy Harkins, my top 3 referees of all time: Ron West, Larry Brock, and Scott Armstrong. All great referees in the wrestling business. Let's see. There's Mr. Fuji, Mr. Saito, Professor Tanaka. I'll get involved. Old school and Coliseum video exclusives. Yes, I always like to watch Mr. Fuji, especially when they were there with that old lady was there. She was more entertaining than the match was. So that's from Pete. Eric Crawford. I'm interested in who you guys would have locked in at 1 through 10, maybe Andre the Giant or Ric Flair or Bruiser Brody.
Well, you'll find out next week.
Next week, number 1 through 10, our top 10 list is it took us almost a year, I believe, to get there, but we're almost there. Hello, all from Michael Barr. How you doing, Michael? I would make a top 100 something. Well, I do not know.
Oh, come on. You can do it, Michael. Come on.
You think about it enough. I had 3 different lists, and I ended up just changing it several times. When Honky Tink with Greg Valentine, Greg dyed his hair black, I cracked up. So, yes. What, Rhythm and Blues was their name, I think?
Yep, Rhythm and Blues.
I like
Seth, I think is what he's saying.
Seth. Yeah, Seth Rollins could have been great too, but boy, they've made a joke out of that man. Victor Nash, hello everyone. I made it even though I just woke up.
Hey, Victor.
We're always good to wake up to. We're always, or put you to sleep. One or the other. We can do both. I got to see Pistol Pezzuali before he passed. A store on 58 Highway. He was such a nice man. We sold Omnitrition together for a long period of time. And we'd go up and down the roads, going to different towns, selling the Omnitrition. Michael, I remember reading about it in the Wrestler magazine. Great stuff. Michael Barr, Jack, did you really break Wahoo's leg?
Yes.
Charles Bellflower, I second Rodney on the Dick Slater Paul Jones match. I don't remember it. Jack Long, Richard Hood.
Yeah,
his partner was Johnny Long, and so Dad knew him back before he wrestled as Harley Race. Christopher, I mean, I guess that was Harley Race's real name. I think his father told him to wrestle as his real name. Don't ever wrestle as another name again. Push your own name's what he said. I think it's what his father said. Christopher Hughes, I guess I'm kind of partial with Buddy Colt after Terry Gordy. He's my second all-time favorite for sure. Terry Gordy, oh man, Terry Gordy. Good. Number 20, Goldberg. This is from Jeff Dobbs. 19, Kerry Von Erich. 18, Billy Jack Haynes. For craziness, he might have Chris Cope beat. just maybe. Just maybe. 17, Lonnie Main. Yes, we don't think about him at that all.
Dog Main.
Yeah, he I think we told the story where he fell out of the ring and got hooked, and his tights got pulled all the way down, and he was shining for everyone to see him. Number 16, John Cena. Number 15, The Undertaker. Number 14, Randy Savage. 13, Kurt Hennig, I believe is it. Number 12, Larry Zbyszko. Number 11, Magnum TA. And we'll go to Charles Bellflower. Ole sold me Omnitrition, but he had to twist my arm. Oh, he sold Omnitrition as well. I didn't know that. I know Bill Watts got us involved, me and Pez. We actually went to Atlanta, I believe, and talked to Bill Watts, and he got us involved with that. I think Bill had 22,000 people selling Omnitrition for him. He made millions while we were just straggling around. And so evidently Bill Watts sold Ole on that. That's crazy. Rodney, are there any these near age wrestlers that you do?
Let me get back with you on that. I'll have to make a list of that. I like Bianca; she's okay. But let's just say that if I say that we quit this show and I would never watch it again, let's just put it that way.
Tina How you doing, Tina? Awesome. Wendy, I sent Jack the info on Scott's appearance. Yeah, I see he's going to be at the Continental Championship Wrestling Show in July.
Wow.
I believe.
Yeah, he's doing a seminar type thing over in Georgia here pretty soon too.
Bill Watts got Ole involved as well. Okay. So we all got involved about the same time. As Bill Watts told me, he said, you need to get out of the wrestling business. That's what he said before it drives you crazy like it did me. That's what I think he told me. And I thought it was a good selling point. But
He was right.
I did actually, but after that, I did do that and do the developmental things at the same time. So Bill Watts said, if you spend more time selling Omni Nutrition and get away from those little B towns you're doing, you'll be better off. That's old Bill Watts for you. Talking about wrestling today, and then we'll get off of here. I've seen something that I thought was probably one of the dumbest things I ever seen, and it's circulating on Facebook. There's a tag match going on. And all at once, this guy jumps on the man's back and climbs up to his shoulders. The other guy decides he's going to get the tag, and he tags in, and he jumps on that man's shoulders. He tries to go and jump on the guy's shoulders where he slips and runs into the other guy and tries to do some move to him, which the guy drops right straight on his head. And that, friends, is professional wrestling today. Did you see this, Jack?
I did.
Final comments, Jack, on our show.
Y'all don't be dropping each other on your heads, okay?
Yeah, don't do that. That's just they'll be booked by Tony Khan next week. Rodney, final comments about the show.
Matt Cordona, I think it's his name. The next time you take and send pictures to Vince, don't send them of all your belts. Try about taking pictures of the crowd. That might get his attention.
He couldn't do that. There was only
It's the reason why he sent the picture with belts right now.
What was he thinking?
Moron.
Like Vince cares about any of that. Like he cares. Oh. Well. Next week, 1 through. See, somebody could have seen my list right then, and it'll be all over the internet like Tony Khan does. He's, Tony Khan's went on every other show. You think we could just get him on here?
I don't even want to try.
Christopher Hughes, he said, he used to set up his alarm to get up at 3 a.m. on Friday mornings, UHH, to watch Lonnie in Portland. When he did have a beer bottle over the head and get color, he had me sold, and he was tough as leather. Christopher Hughes.
He was another crazy person. He would knock out big gopher rats and put them in your bags. So you got to be very careful when you was around Moondog, Maine. That's
Michael's want to know what's next after the top 100.
We're going to be doing a lot of different things. I think we're going to be going back talking about a lot of the
Christopher wants to do tag teams,
and we do need to do tag teams, but we might take a little break from the top 100 because we've been doing it over a year, and talk about some other stuff and get into territories. The territories, talk about all the different territories, and there's a lot of things that we want to try to accomplish between now and the end of the year. And talking about the Georgia Championship, Nick Goulas, talk about stuff that he did, and so much stuff to talk about in professional wrestling. All right,
match has number 10, Stasiak.
Well, see, there he is. He's already given his list.
Yeah, he's giving a preview, and then Mickey Mayfield, he wants to do the top 1 clips of the worst wrestlers of all time.
Awesome. Oh yeah, I can see him right now. Oh, I can't believe you don't want to buy that from me. I'm the Universal Troubles Tomato.
Toot, Eric Crawford next week.
I was never a fan of Austin Idol as well. Now, as far as what he did at Atlanta, when he first came to Atlanta and they did the 4 flat tires, the whole gimmick, I thought was great. And he first came into Atlanta, went against Ric Flair. I thought it was great. But by the time I saw him in 1980 something, 83 maybe,
He's
probably still down in my
Brent,
top.
George is concerned about your list with Mil Mascaras.
You must have been holding up the overrated list.
Okay, we got to get off of here because we've got some.
Melted what? Never mind.
Oh, we're so hot. Where was we? Oh, we're leaving. We're leaving in that. Next week, top 10 wrestlers. Jack has his list. I have mine. Rodney, you have yours. You get yours together, and we'll talk top 10 wrestlers. Could be different. Everyone's could be different, and there's not a wrong list, by the way. There's no wrong list. It is up to
Now, I already gave my number 9. I did. I gave my number 9 months ago. It seems like months ago.
Well,
You don't remember? I was Bobby Eaton. It was Bobby Eaton. I did. I was here when I said it.
All right, I'm gonna.
Josh Bellflower. Rodney's number 1 is Kevin Sullivan.
He does not lay with the Leopards. He don't lay with the Leopards. Brett Armstrong, he could do Kevin Sullivan. You didn't even know it wasn't Kevin Sullivan. If you was not looking, you would turn around and see it was Brett Armstrong, and he would do it right there, right to Kevin Sullivan.
That's right.
Also made the Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty mad when they were going through their match and said, "We're gonna go boom boom," and Brad stopped him and said, No, you can't do that. That boom boom is my spot. You can't do the boom boom spot.
He did. He made him so mad.
All right, we need to get off of here. We'll see everybody next week. Get your top 10 lists together, and we'll see everybody next week right here on Pro Wrestling Inside Now.